Hey guys, welcome to another garden vlog. We're still in that kind of soft opening stages, but I'm looking at my little swimming pool compost, and look at there. A bunch of little pumpkins have came up already, and these have done a few frosts or freezes. Because it's been, a couple months since I threw these guys in here. Now, I don't know about the other two pumpkins that are buried in the ground, but I guess we can go look real fast. But before we go over there, let's take a look at something I've been looking for like a year and a half or more. When we first started that Wetlands Zone 1 project, I had this shrub or tree in mind. Yaupon Holly. There's a bunch of different pronunciations. I'm sure not all of them are right. But these guys are native here, and this guy's flowering. Check that out. My local nursery kept saying they were going to get it, and they didn't until like a year later, and they finally got one for me. And here is an elderberry. This is one of the ever-bearing ones that seem to bloom even throughout the cold and the freezes. Hard freeze will kill off the current blooms, but it'll bloom a day or two later, it seems. And we have been working on another raised bed here for Natalie. And we have some monster kale leaves here. Check that out. We've been growing broccoli in this banana circle as well, but they've about had it. They've done gone to like flower. Our little potted Illinois ever-bearing mulberry's been full of mulberries lately. And I believe this is another vaccinium or blueberry relative growing in the ground here. Alright, so we're back here where I planted that first pumpkin in the ground. Somewhere in this area. And I see no signs of pumpkin squash coming up here. But then again, the other ones came up in a compost bin, so even with those freezes, one had more nutrients available, and two, it kept it warmer. So these guys may have just died in the cold, or they may just be delayed. And this is another kind of wooded area that we planted that other little small pumpkin in. And again, I'm scanning the area, and I'm seeing no sign so far of any type of squash or pumpkin plant coming up yet. Now, the reason I planted them in the ground was because I read or watched a video or something of someone saying plant the whole pumpkin in the ground, and the following year it will come up. So that's yet to be determined, I guess. Now, this is that second mayhaw seedling that I planted in the ground that first flowered this year after the other ones flowered, or after that original flowered, I should say. And so I didn't even think there would be any cross-pollination. But what I'm looking at, I see at least 3. There may be more. It only seemed like 3 or 4 flowers. These mayhaw berries are way bigger than my original seedling from Ace Hardware. Look at that. I don't know if they're double the size, but they're definitely significantly bigger just by looking at them. This guy here is already getting a tinge of red on it. Kind of looks like a tomato. I put some of, I think, my original pumpkin squash seeds from last year in this bed that used to be a tire bed. I don't know what I had in here, whether it was a hawthorn or something originally that did not make it. But as you can see, there's like 3 or 4 little pumpkin plants coming out there. Something else right there. Maybe that's a peanut. I'm not sure. This is where the Celeste fig was that I bought as a Black Mission years ago. And we started giving plants to the community already. And I offered someone this. I said, come dig it up. I thought it would just pull up because there's a lot of sand here. And it took a lot of effort to dig it up, and there's still tap roots there. So it may even send out a new plant or something there later. I'm not sure. But we got rid of that and started giving to the community. And I've given away a loquat, I think a swamp mallow, probably 10 or 15 other things to a few people. And hopefully as time progresses and we see more successes with the propagation, and when we transfer those loquats, a lot of them die. I don't know what the problem is. Pulling them up disturbs the roots too much or something. Maybe the little fine hair roots or something just do not like that and pot them up. And then they just, half of them or more seem to just not make it. This is why one of my lessons I believe I've learned is not to just pick up a loquat, pluck it out of the ground, and then graft onto it. Because even if that graft is successful, if that actual mother plant, that rootstock dies, it's not going to be good. Because, you can't have anything successful on a dead tree. So, this is that red azurel hawthorn that we talked about, like a lesson learned while grafting low. The bug, the caterpillar ate all the buds off. But luckily, on this specific one, it's shooting up a new bud. And hopefully they won't bother it. Well, check that out. There's 2 red champ mayhaw berries. And this guy, I think, bloomed later than the other 2. So maybe there is or some level of self-pollination going on. I don't know. Looks like it's pretty much dewberry season. There you go. You can have that dewberry. It's probably going to be sour though. Was it good? Is it sour? No? Really? Yum, yum. What do you rate? Cheese. What do you rate it out of a 10?
3.
A 3? Well, that doesn't sound very good. How about a white mulberry? Do you want that? Yep, yeah. Them are super sweet. Good? All right. Honeysuckles. Do you know how to open them? You got a dirty face. You need to go wash your face when you get in. Oh, wrong side.
What?
Did you get any?
Yeah.
Probably not, because you pull it from the bottom end. That little green tab, or that little green stem, and then pull it through. And the little ball thing on the end there will pull the sap out, the honey, the nectar. All right, pull it. Well, that one don't have one on it. Here, pull it from the green end there. See, to get that white one, pull that green end through. So not this way, you pull it that way.
I can't pull it.
You got it. Here, you hold on to it. Let me see if I can break it off. Hold on to it. I got the camera in my hand, so I can't do this. All right, I got it started. So pull that green thing. Whoop.
Get that.
Pull it. All right, you see that nectar? Oh, did it just pop? It broke.
Down.
It broke. It's pull that little white stem there. It'll pull some of that nectar out for you. Pull it hard. Yeah. All right.
Oh, there was a small one. I just dropped the small one.
Okay. All right, pull that one out really slow. See that nectar up there? It goes right at the tip. Just good. Was it sweet? You would not believe how hard it is to film getting the nectar out of a honeysuckle. Maybe you really need 2 hands, and we need to do this on a camera mount. Good.
I got 2.
So we got a little bit of new growth here on this Barbados cherry, and check this out. These guys are fixing to bloom. I was wondering why it hasn't bloomed in the last few months. Maybe just the taking it in and out and cold weather and stuff must have just set it back a little bit. But it's coming back to normalization, I guess. So Natalie asked me 2 or 3 weeks ago, what would it take to build, a little bed for some beans, green beans, bush beans, whatever. I started saying, well, it's going to have a truckload of soil. We'll have to have a frame and all that stuff. And she said, never mind, that's going to be too much money in this and that. So I ended up just thinking about it for a day or two, and I started working on a frame. Instead of buying lumber, I'm using tree trunks and stuff that have fallen over the years. So I'm framing it out. I'm putting several layers of cardboard underneath and even up on the sides to hold some of the dirt in, so we don't get a whole lot of dirt falling through the cracks of those trunk pieces. And there's going to be probably some shredded paper and some sticks and stuff like that inside as well, just to get some worm activity. I'm going to put nutrients in there with it, probably mix cow manure with the truckload of potting soil, which isn't very nutrient rich, or if it is, it's so much carbon that is fresh that there's no activity yet, no earthworm activity. Maybe a year from now, when worms find it and that bark and mulch and whatever wood chips that they put in the potting soil starts breaking down and decomposing, then that'll attract those worms. But I think I'm going to add actually some wheat bran, a couple pounds, 3 pounds, 5 pounds, I'm not sure what. We'll have to figure out the ratios to get the nutrient levels up a little bit. And so mixing black cow manure, which is 0.5 NPK, with that, which is about 2% nitrogen or whatever, or 2.5. And the wheat bran, the worms can eat that as their food. So it can be either as a fertilizer, for a slow release fertilizer for the potted plants or whatever, or the worms can eat it and they can poop it out and create vermicompost. They're pooping out nutrients after they eat it. So that's my plan, to put it to pretty much immediate use as soon as we can afford to get a truckload of potting soil in there. And I did it, I think it's 8x3 by somewhere around 10 inches is what I imagined. So it's not going to take a full cubic yard of soil. I'm going to have 30, 40 or something like that % left to repot a lot of my plants. And then, like I said, adding a bag or two of black cow and figure out the ratio of the wheat bran to mix in there. And I'm going to put some active compost and maybe some of my magic soil, so that I put a few hundred earthworms and in the bed, and hopefully that'll be very nice. All right, I think that's about it for this video. I've had the video crashed 2 or 3 times by my youngest one. Then I've had the middle one freak out about something, the oldest one, and now Natalie wants more coffee. So I tried to get out here early in the morning before everything gets hectic, but no matter what I do, I seem to get, I take it from all sides, I guess you could say. Again, we're still in this kind of soft opening stages where we've mostly been tackling single topics on our videos, but I'm glad we went through like multiple topics. We kind of ran and scrambled around to get to a few things before everything got hectic. So I'm glad we got to more than one thing. I actually did a video the other day just about the Yaupon Holly, and I did not upload it but the reason why I did it was preemptively thinking I may plant it off video, and I did not want to just go out there and take a video of it in the ground. So I did not know if I was going to get a chance to actually do another video with this instead of using the iPad, which is really bad quality, using this camera here, which is better quality. But this is Natalie's phone, so everybody wants to use Natalie's phone. The kids want to use it for YouTube or for their school, Khan Academy, and Bible apps and stuff like that. Anyway, hopefully we can tackle some more single topic videos soon. We got plenty, I think, to talk about, and we've definitely been giving back to the community. It's been slow, but we're going to keep going and try to do it on a much higher frequency, I guess. People aren't going to be just saying, hey, let's turn on the camera and give it to me, so you may not see it happen on camera, but you may see the plants disappear and me talk about it. And it's weird. People are strange when you just start breaking out a camera. We were doing a review of a pizza place a year or two back, maybe 2, I don't know. And we were at Natalie's mom's house, and we broke out the camera, and we just got weird looks, so that the video probably isn't that great. We didn't really get as much stuff on it as we probably wanted to, so it's just, people get weirded out when you have a camera and you just start shooting, and it is what it is. All right, guys, take care, guys. I guess I just cut the camera off right before I ended it. All right, until the next time.